Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News, baby dolls. We are moving on through the weekend. We now have the blood moon, the dreaded blood moon, but we're not even really dumping onto it, which is kind of just an example of how low the prices already are. We're going to speak a bit more about that later on. We've got Michael Saylor hinting at buying more Bitcoin. What's going on with Venezuela? Holla. That's right. Holla with a pronounced H. Holla to all my Venezuelan baby dolls. StableCoins replacing your national currency. We've got Tomly accumulating more Ethereum. We have some words from Vitalik and StableCoin SuperCycle. But first, friends, the BTC monthly candle is still green. We're ticky up now, $111,000. Man, man, the past 5 days has literally been Bitcoin 110, 111, 110, 111, 110. Literally 5-6 days, man, back and forth each time. Well, we have Ethereum that's cranked on through still this big wedge triangle. We've got a long way to go, of course we do. But it's a nice definitive break of this triangle. Remember, these things, they don't just run straight away instantly. Maybe it's a monthly candle. It actually technically has run straight away. You know what I mean? Like, but in crypto, we're like, you're only up 30% in a month? I need my 14x now. What the hell are you talking about? It's kind of funny. That also makes up for it because, you know, with crypto, they can just go to 0 in 2 seconds. So you need to be compensated on the upside. We have ETH BTC still at 0.038. Now, friends, what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to have to play some gentle, nice Switch Sun Immune music. It's going to be very nice and sexy for us, okay? Now, we don't have to look at literally anything in the world right now except the racist Russell 2000, okay? The racist Russell 2000 is, I've told you every day, it's literally the final US index. It's US small cap poop coins. There's 2,000 companies in the racist Russell 2000 index. 1,000 of them don't make any money. Okay, literally 1,000 are unprofitable. All right. And the racist Russell 2000, we know he's very racist. Okay, but we need him to bust the highs. Okay. We need him to bust the highs. Remember, we've got to wait for the boomers to freaking wake up and start trading their 35 minutes before they get bored and stop. That's kind of funny. It's actually about world markets, friends. Like everybody's edge is literally just trading the first 90 minutes of the open. You know, so I wonder what happens to your edge if everyone can just trade 24/7. Then all the bots and the brokers, they don't have to jam all their orders in for you to get your opening range scam thing. So things are going to change a lot. So yeah, racist Russell 2000. We need it to bust this high, and as it busts, it will be dragging, Ethereum will be moving up with it, because that's what happens, right? When the world is ready to price in a positive business cycle thrust, some say thrust, I'm more of a thrust man. When that happens, it's all happening at the same time, right? So remember, it's people going from risk off into risk on more so, or they're more, you know, another way to think about it is that they're happy to just think about the uncertainties of the future and take them on. That's it. Right now, friends, what have we had? We've had, it's pretty much Scamville down here. Scamville, 34 months. Poop. Yeah, it's been going on forever. But, you know, so we're going to learn about something for next time. Now you know next time, right? As well, friends, I'm going to cover, I've got a big, juicy episode coming here for you related to Pulse Chain, Peter, and the whole thesis and why Pulse Chain literally take over crypto, have the best things. Remember, in crypto, friends, Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is special. So altcoins, imagine there was no Bitcoin. Imagine altcoins just followed the business cycle. So altcoins just die for like 3 to 4 years. And then when the US economy is strong and the ISM's beaming, you would see a rotation at the end and altcoins go up, right? That's pretty much what it would be. But obviously before altcoins comes Bitcoin. So what makes Bitcoin special is Bitcoin does not rely on the business cycle only, okay? Bitcoin started rallying beginning of 2023. It bottomed out here, and then it started rallying, and it actually touched back its high, and business ISM was still down. That's wild, yeah? That's actually crazy. Now, in this time, Bitcoin touched the business ISM high, and let me see, and right here, actually. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you where the business ISM when Bitcoin broke the all-time high. So it was here, it was here. Let me check 2013. I think 2013, January, it was here as well. Okay. Do you see how 3 cycles, Bitcoin re-breaks its all-time high? There's a positive business ISM. Something changed now. Bitcoin broke the all-time high, and we were in like around Marchy. And if you want to go to November, December here. This is extremely unique. Now, is this an anomaly? I don't know. I'm just telling you, Bitcoin is special. Because Bitcoin, it proved to the world that it doesn't need the business cycle, PMI, to be super strong for it to break the all-time high. Now, this is where it gets controversial. We've only got a sample size of 1. We had the Bitcoin ETF. Do you know what I mean? You don't know. But it's nice that we saw it do this, okay? But that's backwards looking stuff. We're looking here for the future, for business cycle, altcoin stuff here. But it's nice to now know crypto's not going anywhere, friends, except up, okay? This is just my footprint to let us know that crypto, it has to go to 10 trillion plus. It has to, man. Like Bitcoin is the big daddy of the crypto industry. It was able to recover with a bad business cycle, man, which means they're just printing global M2 units, and people, they don't just say they believe, they act like they believe, which means they're actually taking those monetary units of the money supply from the Cantillon effect out there, and they're actually buying Bitcoin with it, which is wild. Beautiful. So we always believed it would happen, but man, then I tell you, it's a believer's cycle, okay, which is interesting. That might be our clue that altcoins are going to crank. Now, if we go down and look closer, this is, friends, the next big daddy chart. This is Ethereum, okay? Ethereum is still in this little box, okay? Ethereum's in this little box, and it should resolve upwards, okay? So firstly, we have this big thrust up, a lot of thrusting. It should resolve upwards, and when we go up, the next major fib is 7,200. So obviously, so however we go there, but then what? Okay, we don't know. Does it mean lower high and it's all over? Or is it going to like skits everybody out? Everyone's calls it's over. They said, oh, 4-year cycle's been running too long. It's over. And then pop. And then believer cycle. We don't know what we're going to get. I hope, obviously, if it's a second one, you know, everyone's a bit concerned. Is there going to be a recession? What's going on? Whatever. But that's pretty much what we're waiting for. And we're going to take it day by day. This is the Bitcoin dominance. It's about 58%. It has a long way to go. Very, very, very long way to go, man. Very long way to go. And you got to remember, friends, in a pro, so look, this is the thing, right? So Bitcoin is now mature enough and has enough believers so that we can definitively say, look, it was able to recover and break its all-time high, and the business cycle was still bad. That's good. Altcoins are still new. There's question marks, okay? Now, some people, they might be licking lollipops, and they might be saying, well, they might be saying, you know, altcoins are super risky. I can't rely on them. See, friends, me as an investor, okay, some say gambler, some say degen, some say friendly squirrel who holds his own nuts. I like seeing that. Where people say, oh, this is too risky. There's no data points on this. And I'm like, sweet. Now, here's the thing. Are you saying it's too risky because there's two things you're thinking about? Okay, this is what, friends, this is what you analyze, okay? Are you saying something is too risky because there's 100 events and, you know, it's only got a 5% success rate? Are you saying that? Because if that is, yeah, you got to be really correct about like why you're winning the lottery now. You get what I mean? If you have 100 events over the past 100 years, let's say once a year, and only 5 were successful, okay, sweet. Well, you got to make a very good case why you think you're right. The best part about cryptocurrency lands is we don't have that, okay? We've only got a sample size of 3 so far, and all 3 we had double bubble, we had alt seasons, okay? So we don't have all the sample sizes in the world, but it's pretty good. People have question marks still. That's why it's amazing. We have 3 cycles, alt seasons happen each time. Effectively, it's a 100% win rate. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a 100% win rate forever. I don't know, but people are worried. So it's new, high growth rate. There's a sample size of 3, and they were all including alt season mania, where others BTC rallies, where altcoins actually outperform Bitcoin for many months. And yet today, everybody's getting mogged. Everyone's saying, well, no, this time could be different. Interest rates are too high, yada, yada. They make whatever reason. So, look, I'm not saying I'm not a genius, okay? I'm telling you what we're living through right now is exceptionally rare, okay? Exceptionally rare. Because in the next cycle, people have more confidence. They'll understand network effects. right? They understand how all the liquidity routes in crypto are going more and more and more. And the growth rates aren't going to be as high. You're not going to have this information disconnect between holders and investors and everyone out here, okay? So that's, friends, what separates me from everyone else, okay? And I'm not making this up. I lived through it, okay? I can literally name them you on my hand. Maybe one day I'll tell you the strategies we were doing in the office. And then over time, it got harder and harder and harder. More bots come in, more funds come in. The volatility compresses, all the edge goes away, okay? I saw it happen twice in 2 big events, okay? One traditional finance stuff. Actually, more times than that. It's just I participated. Actually, no. When I think about it, man, maybe I saw it like 5 times. Yeah, maybe 5 times. So when I started trading Bitcoin, me and Matt went to 2018, all our other friends, I was telling him, I go, dude, this is going to go away very fast. Just telling you, no, you better take advantage of it now. And I was right. Look at Gainsey, for example. Gainsey and a lot of the other friends, they were all 2017 traders. They were all making money 2017, 2018, 2019. And now they're all washed up. Now Gainsey has to rug a coin to make money. You see what I mean? Makes 550,000. You see what I mean? So I'm right. I know what happens. So the best part is, friends, this is like a big one cycle play. This isn't like this is not your equivalent of going to PolyMarket and thinking you're a genius because you can bet no on everything, right? Because everyone has the statistics and the odds and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one. I'll show you some alpha, if you will. So right now, but look, this is not really alpha. Everybody now knows about it, okay? But it's probably going to get withered away. So on PolyMarket, you can pretty much make near great returns. Okay, not altcoin returns, but good for a cuck. You can make good returns for a cuckold, like your 20 or 30% or whatever. If whenever new bets come out, you just vote no. Yeah, you just vote no. So apparently a lot of them, they open at about like the yes or the no to a lot of new things. They open at about 10 to 90. Okay, so if you're voting no, usually what happens is people take their loss as they realize it's not going to get out, and they get out at like 5.95. So you're buying 90, selling a 95, and you can keep doing that. Now here's the thing: everybody's already got the statistics. They already have a lot of AI bots as well, friends, which is tough because now all the AI are going through PolyMarket, and people are just using all the AI. They're just computing odds for stuff. They're using robots to do it. So once again, because this is like wild, man. Like before the casino even really kicks going, you have a lot of people who are like gaming it already, and they're just mining out all the retailer money. So as you can see, friends, people who don't believe in anything, they're going to keep seeking stuff like that if they want to keep trading, and that's going to get mined out as well. I already know that's going to get mined out straight away. It's going to take some time, but yeah, it's happening actively. And then maybe another 6 months fast forwards, but maybe PeerDie's up 10x, maybe Pulsechain's up 10x, maybe Chainlink's up 3x. You know what I mean? Which is, we're using X as like 200% gain. These people are chasing 30%, right? And then they're going to miss out, like, friends, XRP used to be 30 cents, now it's up 10x, if XRP goes to $6, now it's up 20x, you know what I mean? Like, if you just believed in one thing, man, like your Barbermaid's at 20x, and that's at $6, and they're not getting out there, so they're going to keep holding at 10, right? So that's how I know this, friends. I know this because I sat in stuff with an edge. I watched it get mined out over time, and it's really hard to keep changing it. It's really, really, really hard. That's why the power of long-term investing, now you get to see why people in long-term investing, why they're the wealthiest. Because so you're holding, right? In 5 years from now, yeah, in 5 years from now, you don't need to do some up and down, left and right trading skills to have your edge. You just got to keep holding, and you'll get the compounding effect. If you're a trader, your edge, you're clicking up and down, looking at different informational stuff, and it's being chewed away actively. So you have to keep doing that excess effort. That's why you'll find 99% of hedge funds and traders and stuff, how they go in their first 5 years, if they overperform, the next 5 years, there's literally, I'm not joking, so someone who does amazing for a 5-year period, there is a 99% chance they way underperform in the next 5 years. They've done so many studies and tests on this. There is 1 or 2 or 3 geniuses out there, your Stanley Drunken Millers and your Jeffrey Gundlach and that random mathematics guy with the Einstein hair who's from Trading Wizards. You can literally cherry pick them on your hand, friends. But there's hundreds of thousands of people out there. So I know all these stats. That's why I've been gearing myself for long term. But yeah, it's been tough, right? Because we're in the highest risk, highest reward area, and the business cycle's been taking the longest. So we'll see how it all plays out. But now you get to see, friends, right? So we're waiting for the Russell 2000. We're waiting for Ethereum to pop up. And as well, others BTC as well is still, like we had 2 green months in a row. Let's see how we finish out here. I'm not going to get concerned until we see like 6 in a row green. Okay. And it was never over in the past when you had 6 in a row. It was just the end of the first big wave. So we'll wait. Let's check out some news, friends. So Michael Saylor has posted, need more orange, Laura. Hint at buying more Bitcoin soon. So this is Michael Chad Saylor. This is his position out here. Man, they really ruined that SaylorTracker website now. It takes like 18 years to load. Gosh, man, why did you break it? Why did you break it, man? Don't fix stuff not broken. See, oh, look, friends, you put your mouse here, it's big, can't see what the hell's going on. Gosh, man, jeez, you guys got... I'm going to take that as some sort of complacency top signal for Bitcoin dominance as well. I don't know why you would do this. It's trash. Also, I know a lot of you love night mode. Friends, a lot of night mode's trash. Use amber light. Use your night light on there. Just so, once again, a lot of people wonder, Something, why are your screens orange? Firstly, they don't look orange to me. You get used to them after like 30 seconds. Secondly, how do you think I look at monitors all day, friends, for 18 hours without my eyes busting? Okay? If you use amber light, okay, if you AMBER, amber light, or they call it night light, I use a FLUX program, FL.UX, FLUX program. You make as orange as you can. Your brain constantly thinks the sun is setting. Yeah. When you're looking at a white light, that's the sun rising. So you keep getting awake. That's why if you're looking at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, if you're looking at screen and it doesn't have any night light, your brain is saying the sun is rising, the sun is rising. And you're getting fooled. Okay. It's kind of like when if you ever go hunting, friends, like the deers and stuff. That's why when you're trying to spotlight, they look at, oh, the sun is rising. If it's not the sun rising, you know what I mean? Your brain's frying. Pretty much. That's why you get eye strain. If you use the amber light, your brain thinks the sun's setting, so you're more relaxed, okay? Then you don't get eye strain. I literally look at screens 18 hours a day, you know? That's why a lot of people, they say, get off white mode. I've got to look up dark mode. Yeah, but the dark mode is still not good enough, okay? That's why you got to change everything in dark mode. But yeah, that's some friendly advice, like, because a lot of people as well, you know, crypto's exciting enough, but you got to make it as easy as possible as you want if you're sitting there trying to absorb information. So Michael Chad Saylor here, he's got his average price here. Portfolio value is 65 billion. There's 576,000 BTC here, but he had more. I don't know why they don't have it. Like, oh, man, this website, friend, this website, you got to select all. Absolute trash. I don't know why they do this, man. But it says his average cost is 71,400. Don't know why. Used to be 73,000. So, gosh, man, you guys are an abomination. Oh, well, so remember, Michael Saylor's buying Bitcoin literally every 2 weeks. His average price, 73,000. They changed to 71. I don't know why. But if it gets near 100, okay, we watch out. You know, and his buys, yeah, they're creeping up slowly now. But as the price goes parabolic, a lot of people are going to give him money. And it will be a lot of bond people because they just want their yield, right? MicroStrategy has a combined market cap of $100 billion. Remember, MicroStrategy, we're trying to get Chad Saylor, we're trying to get him into the S&P 500, the smelly poop 500. If he can get there, that means DCA fund money from all these boomer fund managers will be going into his stock. And when it boosts up, he's gonna mint shares. He's just gonna dilute his shareholders and buy Bitcoin. It's perfect. He's exploiting the whole system because they just mint shares for whatever. That's why shares, there's just so much, oh, we got to mint shares, we dilute, they change all these. That's why people like crypto, because the rules are in the code. Yeah. And it's super liquid. You don't need permission. You can go move around and stuff out here, right? That's why everyone likes it. You know the monetary policy. Very important. Check this out. StableCoin SuperCycle, friends. Stablecoins like USDT have replaced Venezuela's Bolivar as inflation source 229%. Ouch. I think interest rates in Venezuela, I think they're around 40 or 50% now, which is funny that like the real inflation's 200%. The interest rates, they should be even higher. So this is just what happens, friends. So unfortunately, government, socialism, communism, they just keep diluting the bid. That's what ends up happening. You got to think of like a pyramid of people. The top 1% are the wealthiest, yeah? They try to tax them. It's a slippery slope. But then you realize you can't get as much money and everybody wants the free money. So then they tax the next 10%, right? The next 10%, they end up moving. They don't make as much money. They do try to do loopholes, but basically they leave and they don't make enough money because the crowd, everybody in the country, gets used to the money they're getting off these people for free, and then so these people don't work as hard anymore because they're getting vultured. You're right. Then you got like the bottom 80% of people. So what happens is the government says, "Oh, I know what we'll do. Let's tax everybody." And that bottom 80% of people, how do they get taxed? The money printer. They keep getting diluted away. But then what ends up happening is the government steals from the people and they look after themselves. And then everybody, the whole society loses. Everybody loses. Everybody loses except politicians. Whoever's making the call to basically kill the currency. So that's exactly what's happening in Venezuela. You can opt out of that system peacefully if you hold Bitcoin, which is the best thing to do. But people are just holding USDT. That's all they want. So if you are in Venezuela, you can't. So that's what everyone has to do, right? You have to, every day you work, whatever you get, you got to, they put it into US dollars. They can't hold their currency, right? Bitcoin will be better, obviously, for them. Charmley, his Bitmine only has 31% of their total desired Ethereum supply. Very interesting, friends. He currently owns 1.54% of Ethereum supply, and they want a target of 5. They have 1.87 million Ethereum quantity. Okay, so Charmley, crowd favorite. Here we go. Charmley, friends. So he's... Look, why am I speaking about Charmley a lot? Because, okay, we're in a unique situation. Michael Saylor comes in. He says he's going to turbo leverage long and buy Bitcoin. And then he does. And then the market goes up. And as it was going up, a lot of the Bitcoin maxis, because they waste their time speaking to a lot of like boomers in the stock world, you know, like Wall Street bets losers and stuff out here. They speak to them and they say, Michael Saylor's going to borrow and pump up Bitcoin. Right? And they're like, nah, we don't believe you. And they go, ha, you're a mid-curve. And then Bitcoin ends up rallying. Okay? Now, Charmley's come out. And he says, oh, I'm going to do the same playbook for Ethereum. But because Bitcoin maxis are so biased and Solana maxis are so biased, everybody's still fading Tom. He's literally accumulating it. They're going off the shelves and they're just fading him. That's why, friends, I showed you that Ethereum chart. It's ready to pump up. Like you guys, I couldn't believe it. So you guys watch this. This is, I love crowds, man. I just can't believe it's like this, man. You just watched Ethereum rally 250%. You watched Ben Copen call for $500. You watched for this thing to be called at zero. You watched Ansoy said this thing is never going up, never going to touch its all-time high. You watched all of them get wrong, embarrassingly, right? And you guys are still bearish on it. You're in disbelief. Yeah, so, you know, obviously not you and me, but everybody else out there. Right? You watched every single mainstream KOL say Ethereum is finished. Soy is the way of the future. They lied to you. They said to reject Somi's choice to have a large skim cappuccino or a mocha if you're feeling a bit cheeky. You don't need to get a soy latte, bro. You can get a skim latte. Do you know that? Why does it have to be a soy latte? So they completely reject that. Markets, man, they're interesting. So you just like, man, you'd think something goes up, everybody's bullish on it. Nope. No. You know, that's how we get opportunity, right? It kind of tells you like you should be long. Insight. Wyoming's FRNT stablecoin hits Hedera blockchain, but it still can't be bought. So once again, friends, Wyoming is the first state of America to issue like a stablecoin. It's going to be a stablecoin supercycle. It is a stablecoin supercycle. I'm hoping all the other memes and everything come out back there, but like, I just feel like Solana as the shining light for like the JPEG casino. I feel like, man, everyone's just so sick of it. It's because it's been running up for freaking both. It's been 2 years now. You know, in 2 months, friends, in literally when we hit November this year, it'll be 2 years since Solana started running up. So I think everyone in the world has learned what a meme is, network effects of memes, book clubs, the trenches and stuff out here, you know. Right now, we haven't uncovered what the power of stablecoins can do. You know, and you don't know what I'm talking about unless you're in Pulse Chain, because then you'll see what we're really talking about later on. Not financial advice. Vitalik, friend. This is for Vitalik, 4,000 IQ. Is the US government going to disclose that Vitalik exists? Hopefully. I don't need you to tell me, Mr. Daddy Government. I can see that he exists, okay? So Vitalik said that the lean Ethereum team is driving scaling, decentralization, and resilience as milestones hit. No one cares, which is good. No one cares. It means they're not bullish enough, which means the price isn't high enough. Gosh. Tether issuer, so USDT issuer, Tether. They said they did not sell Bitcoin for gold. But we hold both, okay? Bitcoin and gold. So Tether, remember friends, look, with all due respect to nobody, and I will disrespect you in front of your face. If you hold Tether, you're a cuck. Okay. You earn no yield. They get the yield, and then they make themselves even more rich by using your yield to buy Bitcoin with it. They buy crypto with it, right? While they talk smack about Ethereum and they rely on Ethereum and the EVM network. Ethereum and Tron, both EVMs, right? Tron doesn't correct the Tron is just copy paste of Ethereum, okay? So they have 85% of the world's stablecoins, those two chains. So here's Tether going, oh, I love it. I love the Bitcoin. I hated the crypto. They just say that over and over again, dude. 85% of your business is literally from Ethereum. Like, talk about biting the hand that feeds you, man. So if they get toppled one day, you'll know why. It's called karma. Now, where are we going to go from here, friends? So we've seen US jobs. There's some cracks. Everyone's talking about this US Fed, this US Fed decision coming. Nobody cares, bro. It's already 100% chance of a cut. Okay, no one cares. It's just like it's all already starting to price in and move along. We're moving into the next phase. What can we really do now? We just watch the obvious ratios and stuff around. This is Sol. That's from the Soy ETH ratio. And we know what we're all waiting for, right? So it all comes down to meth, friends. Meth is the representation. It's like the first representation that we have from the business cycle going up. ETH goes up, you know? So ETH goes up the most, and then everything else has a delayed effect. It depends how much it goes up later on. This is Ethereum's chart. It's very nice and healthy. It's literally, you understand, like, Benz, I can't believe there are people short here. Like, it's literally, friends, this is the 7th time it come here. It actually broke the high pretty much of this range, and now it came back and it's just touched here. So here we are. It's like it's ready to burst up. And this is the major fib we know, 7,200. It would be great, like, if, okay, just to tell you something. If we get here, look, I'd like to say I'm going to sell everything if altcoins are up heaps. I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to get our sweet euphoria at this point. I don't. I hope we do. I just don't. I think it's going to be like, okay. I think we'll get back. You know what? It's a step in the right direction, but I don't think it calls for warning. That's just personally what I think, right? Now, you might say, okay, but what about if it hits 11,200? Okay. Now we're cooking with something. Now you can make a case anywhere in this zone, even if you touch this zone, there'll be something to think about in terms of have we gotten too hot, right? I'm just guessing, friends. I'm totally guessing. No one knows, right? Because everyone thinks they know what's coming next. If you notice, the people who... Friends, look, man, I'm here 18 hours a day, dude. Okay. The people who you think are winning are most likely Bitcoin and soy holders. And what they're not actually winning, okay? What they're actually doing is speculating in their mind that the next 6 months is their bags rising up the most because they've risen up the past 2 years strong. Do you see what I mean? So because soy and Bitcoin have dominated for 2 years pretty much, okay, everybody has sold the bottom of everything else and they're now in them. So they think, oh, it's going to be great. Bitcoin's going to 250. Soy's going to 1,000. I'm going to win. It's awesome. I definitely get this. So they're totally complacent about everything else. That's why they're speaking that way. In their mind, they've already priced in $1,000 soy. They've already priced in a 250K Bitcoin. They've already priced it in their mind or even higher. Okay? That's why they're talking with that's why their confidence, it's an aura. It just oozes out of their skin. Yeah? But that is dangerous, isn't it? That's dangerous. It's the polar opposite, friends, of if we go down, if I show you, remember, friends, Davey Soy Hoffman? Friends, Davey Soy Hoffman, he was crying. The dude's got like 4,000 Ethereum or something. He was crying at the bottom. He was like, my industry, you have forsaken me. What happened? I'm like, bro, you're going to be fine. Why are you crying? It's because, friends, they're pricing in the potential of a world recession coming in 2023, where Bitcoin goes down to 5K and Ethereum goes back to $200, and we just round trip everything from the zombie virus. That's why everybody was like super sad. And they're like, oh no, in their minds, they've already priced in the world recession. And then guess what? The world recession didn't come. We actually went up. Do you see what I mean? That's a big macro example out here. So that's why when you see people talk, if you listen carefully, you can see why they're actually happy. So friends, you'll rarely find someone who goes, oh, everything's great. You know what I mean? You're going to find someone who cherry picked it, friends. And the people who have cherry picked, friends, I've just, because you're my Habibi Albi. Friends, do you remember Injective, man? This is going to hurt for people in it. I know a few people in it, but this is going to hurt. Do you remember last year, Injective broke this high? Friends, there is literally posts of me. I was warning everyone. I said, man, if you're Injective, you got to take out, bro. You just got a 40x. You know, like Injective holders, they weren't mean to me. They weren't mean, okay? But they said, they said, no, I think we're just getting started. We've got nothing to worry about, you know? So they weren't mean, no, nasty, but like, look what ends up happening, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, friends, it came back from this top down 88%. And this is the thing. Not everyone was like this, but some people who were in it, they got a bit cocky. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what? I knew this was going to be one. It was good. Because I went and investigated. Because I wanted to know, friends. I don't go look back. So, friends, I'm literally an anti-hater, okay? I'm a friend. I'm like, okay, what did they see? What's Injective doing? And I'm going on research. I'm like, bro, you're not doing anything different. At all. Like, at all. Why? I'm wondering, why did you even go up in the first place? There's no ETF. There's no, what just got me? It was luck, bro. It was just a fluke shot. Yeah. But no one wants to hear you're in a fluke shot when you've just done a 40x, right? Because they're all buying in here, friends. All the retail started buying up here, and then they do the pop, just like everything else, right? So I don't like finding fluke shocks. I want to find something that has a formula or like a characteristic and attribute so that I can look for it around the rest of the marketplace, and you and I can get in and make a lot of money. Okay. That's why everybody's looking at Solana, and they're like, oh, fast transactions. That's what we need. And we look at it and we're like, no, that's not actually it. That's not actually it at all. That's what everyone thinks. They go, oh, we've got to do fast transactions. And I showed you examples. I go, well, Bitcoin doesn't need to go up. It does basically almost no transactions. Okay, so you see what I mean, friends? It's not as easy as that. You need believers, man. That's what it comes down to. You need believers. You need the L1 token to go up. You need the business cycle. But then, friends, a lot of people calling Solana, like I said, man, dude, there's 500 coins. There was many chains doing different stuff. Okay, Sol's a chosen one for this cycle. That's it, dude. You know what I mean? Just get over it. But that's what I meant. Everybody holding Soy, they're going to round trip all their Bitcoin value. They're not getting out, right? They're not getting out at all. You and I, we're learning from this though, okay? So you know where we're going from here. Everything is still good to go. Rectember, Blood Moon, pretty much, you know, there was no real dump thing, this Blood Moon, because like, I guess we're already really, really low. So we'll see how we end up in the next 3 months. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you in the next one.